Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Guys, just a reminder that starting next Monday, I'm going to be on the new revamped schedule. Monday through Wednesday, nothing will change. According to my normal schedule, I'll be out here getting back on track with that between 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then Thursday mornings, I will be going live around 5:15 a.m. for a session of TA Q&A to connect in with a different audience. Welcome in, Donkey Dong. Donkey Dong, you have not hit the thumbs up button. Now, you are a long-time viewer of the channel. Oof. Guys, show a little bit of love on the engagement here. ETF approved for Ethereum spot. Let's fucking go, oof. Of course, if you're looking at the charts today and you believe that the news narratives drive the charts, then you're expecting everything to blow up to the upside, right? And that hasn't happened yet. So we'll kind of get into what I'm looking at in the charts. But there's one chart in particular I want immediately to today. Give me 1 second. Okay, that was a little odd. That moment when you think someone is breaking into your into your place, but it just must be the neighbor next door. I have no idea what that was. I was about to get serious. There is one chart I've been looking at in particular today that we've hit on that is getting quite interesting. And we're going to have to take a look at that because as Juan is pointing out in the comments, and I would agree with him, alt season is getting very, very close. So as I kind of run through some of the charts I quickly wanted to take a look at with you, remember today is Thursday. It's the TA Q&A segment, so feel free to drop your charting questions within the comments. I will not be live streaming more than likely tomorrow. This is a holiday weekend, guys, so I hope everybody has a nice extended break this weekend. If there is some pretty crazy price action this weekend, you can count on me going live, though, on Sunday for the weekly close. Let's take a look at current price action on Bitcoin. We're going to assess some of the lower time frame price action on the 12-hour like we usually do. Of course, this area here, which should be flipped into an area of support, you can see this $68,000. Ideally, we want to maintain $68,000 as a key area of support. I believe the worst case scenario for Bitcoin at this point, in my opinion, is maybe, we come back and touch a trend line here, an ascending trend line that gets us back to this 200 simple moving average. Maybe we retest this $63,000 to $64,000 area. That's certainly possible in the short term. But essentially what we want to do now that we've come all the way up here, I would love us to maintain areas around $68,000 on our way up towards new all-time highs here, which I think are going to occur quicker than most people are anticipating. If we take a look at the daily, we're starting to get that moving average price action that we've been talking about that we want to see in the chart, where the 10 is above the 20 is above the 50. Of course, you could see the moving averages in the upper left-hand corner of my screen. If you can't see it too well, let me move this out of the way, and you can see that the 10 is above the 50 and the 20 is trying to cross above the 50. So we'll be keeping an eye on that in the short term. Now, something that I didn't speak to on this channel, but I did post on Twitter. That's why it's very important that you do follow me at Crypto Bull God on Twitter. Also, something else that once in a while I do share on Twitter, if you're interested, is I do some gym motivational items on Instagram. So you can also follow me at Crypto Bull God on Instagram. But here, one of the things I am watching closely that I didn't really see in the chart until recently, I didn't take a look at it. You can see from our high here to our swing low here, we've essentially come up, and right now we have wicked through the 0.786 fib retracement. Now, this is something I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on. Guys, need a little bit of love and the thumbs up here. This is something I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on because commonly what price action does like to do on a lot of charts, when we're still in a corrective phase, you'll see that we'll bottom out. Once we bottom out, we like to come up and either retrace somewhere between the 0.618 and the 0.786 before rolling over. So essentially what I'm getting to is I want to see price action eventually within the coming days here definitively push above $70,000, because that'll wipe away the thought that is at least in my mind and something I'm keeping track of, which is, could this be some sort of an A, B, C correction? Do I think that is the case? No, I do not think that's the case. And the worst case scenario, if that did play out, even though I don't think it's going to play out, it would just mean lower prices in the short term as we kind of wait for things to stabilize and continue moving upwards. I don't think that's going to be the case, though, but it is something I'm keeping an eye on. Remember, we did have this green hammer candlestick that I do have circled here that we spoke about many weeks ago when that did print. And the monthly, kind of touched on that the other day, but take a look at Ethereum, guys. Ethereum is having a ton of price action here to the upside. I mean, again, for people that say charting does not work, I would invite you to look at this chart. On this weekly, you can see we perfectly hit this area of price confluence just short of $4,000. We literally hit 39.47, and I have an area of price confluence at 39.50. And with such a high degree of volatility in assets like this, if you hit anywhere near your area of price confluence, it demonstrates why charting does work. Shout out to Waterloo again. Guys, I feel like I drink a lot of Waterloos on these live streams. I'm going to have to get them to sponsor the channel. You too can look like CBG if you drink some Waterloo. False advertising. Okay, but price action is looking really good. We're defeating this descending resistance here, and we're pushing up towards 4,000. Now, the interesting point for Ethereum, guys, if you want one price level to watch for, just keep that nice $4,000 figure in your head. As we start to see daily and three-day candlesticks as well as weeklies have candle body closes above $4,000, what's that going to do for us? Well, two things. One, it's going to increase the likelihood that we're just going to start ramping up in volatility to the upside. And I mean, we're going to blow past all-time highs and be well north of $5,000. But the other thing, just wanted to throw this out to anyone who hasn't seen this yet in the chart. Where's our highest weekly candlestick close? Back here in this time frame, right in March, here in 38.82, right? So if we can get a weekly close up here towards 4,000, it'll be the highest weekly close we've had in Ethereum since December of 2021. Okay, so over 2.5 years ago. Okay, so it would be very monumental for Ethereum here to get a weekly close at or above $4,000. And again, as everyone was getting impatient with Ethereum and we said, hey, whoop, didn't mean to close out of that. Solana's having a great day too, or a great week, I should say. But as everyone was getting salty with Ethereum, and I was the first to tell you guys, hey, I mean, things are taking a little bit longer than I expected. I could not, this chart, guys, if you've been following me for a while now, this chart is unchanged. I have not changed a single thing on this chart. I spoke about this green area of price confluence as an area of support. Look what we did. We've had a slight, now the question here is, let me talk about what price action has done so far. We've gone below this ascending trend line that's held since like 2016 or 17. We've had a range deviation, but the question we have to ask ourselves now is, which scenario is going to play out? Because it's going to be one or the other. You can see we have perfectly come up and hit the prior ascending line of support, which is now acting as resistance. This is very common, okay? We broke it, and now we're coming up, we're testing it, and we can't get above it at the moment. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to roll over and go lower? Because that is a possibility. I could never come out here and definitively tell you what these charts are going to do. If you're listening to anyone, really think about this from a common sense perspective. If you're watching YouTube content or listening to someone with a high amount of followers on Twitter who is telling you with certainty what's going to happen, my suggestion for you is to unfollow them. I can't tell you with certainty what's going to happen. I can give you the scenarios, and then I can tell you which one I think is most probable and why. So scenario 1 is we roll over and create new lows. Scenario 2 is we eventually break this descending area of resistance, which we've looked at, and break up, okay? I think the latter scenario, scenario B, a break to the upside, is most likely. Now, why do I think that's most likely? Let's go to this main chart here. We've been waiting for alt season, right? For everyone new tuning in, if you're feeling excited about me coming on here and giving you factual information about why I think alt season is literally just around the corner, for the love of God, show me some support. The channel needs it as I start to ramp back up. Which, by the way, for all my fellow Caspians out there, I made the switch. Look at this. I had posted this out. We made the switch from the Bitcoin cover. I got a nice Caspa phone cover here for my iPhone 12s. And I got the nice popper here. So shout out to the Caspinians who are tuning in right now. But guys, really, I want to take a moment and explain to you why I feel like the Ethereum BTC relativity chart is going to break to the upside. And furthermore, why we are going to be seeing an alt season very, very, very shortly. I anticipate potentially as early as June next month. Potentially as early as June. I've spoken about this 53% level. As Ethereum has been expressing a greater degree of strength over Bitcoin, what that has done is it has resulted in Bitcoin's dominance within the cryptocurrency market cap decreasing. Ethereum's beginning to gobble up a little bit more of it. That's what's being displayed in this chart. Now, every single time we've seen a break in structure of key price confluence here, okay? Alt season, okay? Alt season leading up to that, but alt season. Here, there was clearly a break in structure right here. Alt season, okay? Where you had your altcoins outperforming Bitcoin. I have to get the number of likes relative to viewers at least at 60 to 70% for me to continue forward. I have a small channel. There's only 10 of you tuning in right now. I see 4 thumbs up. That's at a 40%. Not good with math. I'm an actuary. I'm really not going to be able to continue on with this chart until I can at least get a little bit more engagement. Because again, I hate asking for engagement. I really do. I fucking hate it. But the reality is YouTube grades my channel based on the engagement. So even if I have 9 or 10 people watching, if I'm getting 3 or 4 people liking the video, not good for the video. So I'm just going to move on to other charts here until we can... I'll jump back to the Bitcoin dominance, but clearly not getting the engagement, so I'll move on. Let's talk about Casper for a moment. Now, one of the charts that I had posted on Twitter earlier today was this chart here. Now, this is a weekly view. And again, this is why, I encourage everyone to not lose sight of the forest for the trees. Okay? Very, very important. That as we're getting all hung up on daily price action, let's look at daily price action, right? Everybody and their mother is getting all salty in here over price action. What they're not realizing is if you actually zoom out on a higher time frame, this chart looks like it's literally up only, number go up, right? Now, the thing that I'm pointing out here is, and maybe I should have put some circles when price action was below the 10 simple moving average. We on this channel have spoken about the 10 simple moving average several times in the importance of it on the weekly chart for Caspa. Now, Caspa, obviously, you can see based on the price action, we only have price action going back to like mid to late 2022. So we don't even have 2 years of price data. The price data is very immature, right? But when we've seen a deviation to the downside with candle body closes, you can see the candle body closes. Once we've resubmerged, big price action. Downside, of course, there was actually a movement here. Back down to the downside for one weekly candle. Up. Here we deviated, up. Here we've deviated, up. Okay? every time we've then seen, what I'm trying to point out here is every single time we've seen a candle body close emerge above the 10 simple moving average, what I'm attempting to spell out to you guys here is that it has resulted in a massive rise to the upside. Now, can I tell you with certainty that the chart isn't going to do this? Of course, the chart could roll over and go to zero. Bitcoin could go to zero. Ethereum could go to zero. Don't miss what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm pointing out something historically that has worked in the past and is setting up perfect from a timing perspective to align with what we just spoke to on Ethereum, BTC, and Bitcoin dominance, which I can finally get back to talking with. Thank you for the engagement, guys. I literally was going to move on and stop talking about this. So because people have chosen to hit the thumbs up button, which I appreciate, let's get back to what I was saying before. So every time that Bitcoin dominance has broken structure, we broke structure, right? Massive alt season, okay? We broke structure here, as I said. This was price confluence right here. Broke it, massive alt season. Look at what we're getting right now. The price confluence I would point to would first be 53%, okay? You could argue there's another area right around 51.5 to 51%. But this yellow region has been a major area of price confluence and a region that if you've been following me for a little while, I said most likely Bitcoin the dominance was going to top out in. Look at this really strong red candle coming in here on the weekly. Look at the RSI doing exactly what I said it would do. The RSI, guys, a tip for you if you're not aware of this. You can chart an RSI similarly to how you chart price action. Similarly to what we just spoke to with the Ethereum BTC dominance and the ascending line of support breaking, look what happened. The ascending line of gray support here broke, and it literally has done exactly what I spoke to. The relative strength index has been unable to break back above this prior ascending line of support. It's now a line of resistance. I wish I knew what was going on upstairs. Literally thought someone was breaking into my place. And the MACD you can see is expressing a little bit of weakness here as well. But focusing on price action, we're getting closer and closer and closer to this monumental area of price confluence. Okay, yes, you can look at Bitcoin dominance as a chart, just like anything else. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. If you're listening to news channels, I'm not going to name any channels. If you're listening to news channels and they say, well, you can't chart Bitcoin dominance or the DXY or Tether like you would a stock or a crypto, literally that person has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. You can chart anything so long as it has price data and it means the same thing, okay? Just take it for someone who's educated and actually knows what they're talking about. Now, this region here, the reason it matters so much and the reason I sort of drew a line in the sand and said 53%, look at the point in time at which we're getting to here, okay? There's this line here, 53, but then there's this ascending line of support that has held all the way since back here for a year. This is June, guys, this right here, this is June of 2023. We held it. This chart's getting too messy. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. June 2023, okay, we held it. We almost touched it here. We touched it here. Now we're coming back, and we're going to retest this line. Do you really think it's going to hold, okay? Who knows? I could be dead wrong. We get one more last gasp in dominance and then a break off, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Dominance looks like it wants to break down. I will give you my general synopsis for what I see in the chart at this moment. If I'm staying just true to the chart, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a bleed down. It's going to attempt to get back above here. It's not going to be able to break back above 53. You might see a wick above 53. We're not going to be able to break back above it. And maybe we find temporary support right around 48%. Now, as I had also posted out on Twitter, I believe we're going to have at least one alt season. It really depends what Bitcoin does. I kind of lean towards there being two alt seasons, which, then you have to ask yourself the question, well, if you really think there's going to be two alt seasons, how far is this bull run really going to run, CBG? Your primary view was, at latest Bitcoin would have a blow off top by July. You're correct. So we'll have to see how it pans out. I'm not worried about the time. I am concerned with this, and I'll continue to hit on it. I am looking at unbiased, empirically based, historically significant indicators to tell me when the market is most likely topping. I hope that you find this video helpful. This is pinned on my profile. Go check it out. But I would encourage whatever methodology that you come up with in order to discern when Bitcoin and the rest of the market is topping, don't do it based on your human emotion, right? Not how things feel. That's the worst decision you can make. Do it based on empirical evidence from the past. If you have a sample set, don't overcomplicate your life. That's what I like about this. 6 indicators, right? And when a certain percentage start to flash, I'm scaling out. I am scaling out. That's it. Because the other thing you have to keep in mind, and I'll continue reiterating some of these points, some of these things like the pi cycle, which have historically worked in the past, they are going to fail at some point, guys. There's nothing that's 100% in life besides living and dying. The pi cycle will not work indefinitely. Maybe it works this time, maybe it doesn't, but that's why I have 6 indicators. It just makes way too much sense to me. So again, this is relatively speaking what I see in Bitcoin dominance. I could see a scenario where maybe this cycle goes a little bit longer than I think. You could see a scenario where we maybe bottom here, and this was our mini alt season. Bitcoin regains dominance, gets somewhere up here, and then we see our final capitulatory alt season going into the end of this year, maybe the beginning of 2025. Or what we really could see at this point is we could see us temporarily snatch here, not very long, and then start to go much lower, and we have one big alt season. I think either scenario is really on the table, guys. I'm going to see who is in the comments here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and catching me at an atypical time. Like I said, I'm going back to my normal streaming routine starting next week. So make sure you have that bell icon for all notifications. And guys, if in all seriousness, if you do want to wake up in the morning and listen to a little bit of technical analysis around 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays, that's what I'll be doing. I will make the live stream similar to what I do now in a way that even if you can't watch it and you're multitasking, you can still listen and you can retain some knowledge about what's currently going on in the market. Appreciate the engagement on the thumbs up. It really helps, and I hate asking for engagement. Thank you so much. Let me get into the comments here. Thank you, my friend. Guys, appreciate the compliments. You don't need to say you're not gay. Not gay. All right. It's okay for a man to tell another man he's a good-looking dude, right? To be comfortable enough in your sexuality, you can say that. But I appreciate it. Raghorn, welcome in, my friend. The Real SR, what's up, brother? Oh, guys, just wait until I get into true CBG mode. If you're newer to the channel and you haven't been here for a while, the Crypto Bull God is going to turn into true Crypto Bull God fashion once we start rolling. And by the way, per my earlier post, I don't know if you're keeping an eye on this. The way the charts are setting up for Casper right now, let's take a look. Okay, it's down 1.5 points today. The way the charts are setting up for Casper, I don't know if you guys have been following this. We're hanging out here at 35. There's not a lot of runway between 35 and, say, 25. That's like a 50% move from here. Okay, that's like Casper going from, from 13.7 all the way up to nearly 20 cents. Breaking it at the top 25 is not just something to be mindful of. Who else we got here? Jet Brox, welcome in, my friend. Never late, always on time. That's what I always say. Yes, they did approve the spot ETF today, ETH ETF. Again, Jet Brox, if I know you're not newer to the channel, but if you were, what I would tell you is it's all in the charts. So I just spoke to what I'm anticipating unfolding. Again, I think 53% dominance could break as early as the next 1 to 2 weeks. At that point, that's when I would anticipate a lot of strength beginning to come into the altcoins. So that's what I got to say about that. Guys, anything else? I mean, these were really the major updates. I don't know if there's a quick chart you want me to take a look at this is really what I wanted to take a look at. I really didn't have too much else. Again, I try not to overcomplicate your life and just stick to the main things that you need to keep an eye on. Traditional stock markets look fine. Let's take a quick look at DXY. DXY is kind of hanging out. We can paint this as resistance. This is, well, actually, I should wait for tomorrow. I don't want to get presumptuous. 105 would probably act as resistance. But again, this is this chart is way too messy. I need to clean it up. But DXY is exhibiting weakness. We'll have to see how this plays out. But I would anticipate in generalities for the DXY to continue bleeding going into the end of the year. Remember, while there is a positive correlation that exists between the DXY and the crypto and the stock market, crypto assets and the stock market, they don't necessarily move in tandem 100% of the time, meaning in the opposite direction. If you go back to the past and you study history, you do see there are distinct moments, for example, when the DXY is going up and crypto is going up. Conversely, there are moments where the DXY is decreasing in value and crypto is also undergoing a correction. So just keep this in mind. Yeah, we're not going to take a look at all three charts, Jebrox, but how about this? Oh, thank you for asking, the Real SR. How's the new job going? So my new job starts next Tuesday. So very excited about it. Very excited. I think I shared with you kind of the background there. So very, very excited to just get out of the situation I was in and join an organization with a lot of ambitious goals. And I look forward to being a direct contributor in my role to helping the team out. I'm looking forward to it a lot. It's a great leadership opportunity. What should I do? Total 2, total 3, or others? Let's do others, because others is going to remove those top 10 coins. Yeah, excludes top 10. And it's really going to give you a flavor for a lot of the smaller alts. So let's get off here. This is from an older comment here. Oh, excuse me. Apparently I'm already ready for bed, man. I'm getting old. I got to tell you, on a positive note real quick before I comment on Crypto Others chart, for those who have been following sort of my health journey in terms of trying to get back in many ways to where I was at before my surgery, my thyroid surgery, energy levels have been better lately. So that's a bit of good news, because for a while there was a little bit of a struggle, a little bit to say the least. Yeah, we're just consolidating right underneath the 293. I mean, really, this is on the weekly. Again, with the current week's price action, what it should do for the MACD, the story is this will flatten. You can already see the histogram is starting to decrease in value. We have a light red coming in here. Stochastic RSI is beginning to curl up. RSI is actually in good shape here at 60. What I would anticipate, as long as we have a strong monthly close coming in these next couple weeks, next week or two, you're just going to see some sort of a push to the upside. Of course, we want to break this last high that came in here. I mean, I don't see how you can't look at this chart and not be bullish. Like, I don't understand the people that are calling for triple tops. Like, some of the most asinine things that I see. I've seen a lot of asinine things in the past couple of years, but Bitcoin dominance hasn't broken trend yet to create an alt season. Ethereum hasn't set a new all-time high. Solana hasn't set a new all-time high. There are so many alts that are still within 90-95% corrections. None of them have had... Let me make this point clear. The majority of the crypto market, as hard as this is to believe, yes, there have been sectors like meme coins and certain newer projects that have run hard. The majority of the market has not run hard yet. You might find that hard to believe, but if you find that hard to believe, drop me a comment and let me know. You haven't been here for a long time, okay? If you weren't here in 2021, if you didn't experience the parabolic journey that began in 2017 going into 2018, like, you have no idea what we are on the precipice of. When this dominance begins to bleed, you look at a project. What I was saying here real quick, I'm all over the place today. This is a rounding bottom. Look at this. This thing just wants to... It's the definition of a parabola. We're entering blow-off top territory. You look at a thing like, I don't know, this is the first thing that jumped in my head. And full disclosure, I'm in this. You guys know this if you've been here. You look at a thing like Alchemy Pay, right? We're not as high as I thought we would be. Some of the price data is missing here. You think this was a run from 0.7 cents all the way up to 4 cents? That's nothing. Just wait. When things really begin to pick up, okay, been here way too long to see this before, and things really start to pick up, and then before you know it, Alchemy pays all the way up at, your 40, 50, 60 cents. Yeah, that is that's a 10, 20x from where we're at. If you think this thing pulling a 10 to 20x is impossible, poof, you don't know what you are in store for. You have no idea. Best be prepared on where you're going to be selling, because euphoria will hit quickly. I'm just telling you, having been there. Have a game plan, have an exit strategy. That's part of the value that I want to add to your day-to-day, right? Part of the value that I'm going to add to your arsenal as you're sort of benefiting financially from this market is knowing how and when to sell, right? I want to encourage everyone to really walk away from this live stream not only understanding where we're currently at within altcoins and how beneficial it's been for Ethereum to have its run and the things we want to look for in Bitcoin that we've spoken to. There's one other thing I want everyone to walk away with today. And I've stressed this for the better part of a year, year and a half, 2 years. I've stressed this for a while, but now we're getting very close. Shit is going to get real soon. There are a lot of people out there that believe we'll have two sort of tops or just one blow-off top. I think either scenario is possible. And we'll have to allow the charts to develop in order to form a hypothesis in terms of what's going to happen. Regardless, follow me for a moment. You need to know today how and when you're going to sell. I have created this video for you as one tool to consider for your sell strategy. It's logical, okay? As price action starts to pick up, and if you're in Alchemy Pay, or you're in HBAR, or you're in Harmony One, or you're in Caspa, know today how you're going to base your sell targets and what your sell strategy is going to be. Don't sell everything all at once. Know what your risk tolerance level is and sell chunks, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever the case is. Please, I implore you, because when you going into your crypto portfolio today and looking at your unrealized gain and what your portfolio is worth is meaningless. It means absolutely nothing. Okay? It means nothing. You don't actually have those assets. You can't take those assets and do anything with it, right? You have it invested. It doesn't mean shit. Once you sell and you see it go into dirty USD fiat, that's the currency of choice in the United States, then we can have a conversation. Then you can say you've prospered by remaining diligent and patient and investing in this space, buying Bitcoin when no one wanted to touch it, right? When I was screaming it was a buy in this whole area, this entire area I was screaming it was a buy, right? And it didn't matter where you bought. But if you bought Bitcoin, for example, in anywhere in this price area and we're all the way up here, how in the fuck are you not happy with yourself? I don't understand it. You're buying Caspa way the fuck down here, and now we're all the way up here. I don't understand how you can't be happy with yourself. So you want to make sure to benefit from those decisions that you've made many months ago, maybe even years ago, right? I'm going to tune out. Let's see who we got here. Track, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. L1's gaming and DeFi, that didn't do anything yet. Every narrative, a rising tide lifts all boats. Everything is going to run. Yes, even I keep shitting on it for a reason. Even Casper, not Caspa, even Casper is going to have its run. Okay, everything is going to run. A rising tide lifts all boats. Welcome in, Kayleen. All right, guys, that's going to do it. We're at time. But again, more than likely, I'm not going to be back tomorrow. But if anything significant does develop over the weekend and we get some surge in prices over the weekend. Count on me going live on Sunday for the weekly close. Besides that, I will most likely be back on Memorial Day to assess price action. At the latest, though, I'll be back Tuesday. And once I get into next week, and I'm live streaming next week, where I'm going to be on a consistent basis, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as I discussed at the top of the live stream, and then optional TA content on days where we're having explosive price action on Friday and over the weekend. So until next time, everybody, thank you for the engagement. Until next time, let's all spread awareness, and let's carry the education forward. Take care. You are the greatest indicator, CBG. Why, thank you.